guys, what's up? It's your boy Michael, the one, the only, the Iron Horse Historian. On this edition of Engines of North America, we will be talking about the Baldwin GS-1 class steam locomotive. In the 1920s, the Southern Pacific constructed a fleet of 42 mountain-type steam locomotives in its own Sacramento shops in California. They served the 815-mile main line, hauling express passenger trains between Los Angeles, California, and El Paso, Texas. But even these iron workhorses were found wanting. In 1930, the Southern Pacific created designs for what would become the first of the famous Golden State-class steam locomotive. They were initially delivered with 160C Vanderbilt tenders, which, starting in 1939, would be replaced with 220R rectangular tenders. Like the previous Mountains, they too were oil burners and would be the only model of the GS-class steam locomotive built by Baldwin Locomotive Works. All future models will be built by the Lima Locomotive Works. Into the 1940s, like many of its steam brethren, it would haul essential material and men during the Second World War. In 1948, GS-1 number 4403 would haul, at the time, presidential candidate Harry Truman across the Lone Star State. The train visited cities such as El Paso to a lukewarm reception to Uvalde, where it was greeted by a crowd of 12,000, to San Antonio, and a crowd of 200,000. From there on, Truman visited the state capital of Austin, Waco, Fort Worth, and Dallas. The GS-1 had a top speed of 90 miles per hour, a tractive effort of 62,200 pounds thanks to its 250 psi boiler pressure, weighed in at 448,400 pounds, and measured in at 107 feet 11 3/4 inches. For the whistle, they came out with an SP6 chime, and unlike successor models, except for units assigned to snowshed districts, the GS-1 didn't come built with skyline casing. While many railroads used northern-type steam locomotives, the primary operator of the GS-1 was the Southern Pacific, although 5 were leased and 2 were sold to a subsidiary of the SP, the Texas and New Orleans Railroad. All would be renumbered, and some would even be given doghouse-style tenders. The GS-1 was just the start of the renowned Golden State class. The GS-2 would make its debut in 1937 and would be the first of the GS class to come built with the famous and gorgeous skyline casing. In 1953, after being renumbered, all but 2 GS-1s were transferred back to the Pacific lines, and they made a final stand pulling San Francisco Peninsula commuter trains. Unfortunately, just a year later, scrapping of the GS-1s began, and sadly most were out of service by 1955. While sadly none of the GS-1s made it into preservation, we do have scale models, photographs, and successor GS-class Northerns in preservation.